It's a lot of fun. And the people here are great. You know, the ones that we compete with and the ones that work with Rothmans and Porsche, they're all good to us. You know, they're great people. It's, and like I say, I love racing anyway. I mean, if it was a go-kart with wheels on it, if it had wheels in the steering wheel, we'd be racing it, you know. And it's in Canada, which is a good thing. I think it's great in Canada.
In television, we naturally tend to focus on the front runners, but let's take a minute to salute the rest of the field. The guys who are out there every weekend because, like Murray Edwards, they love it. Number 66, Brett Goodman, who finished 15th in race number 3. Car number 57, Ray Coffey of Thornhill. Car number 2, Reagan Riley. He was 17th in race 2. He's from Toronto. Car number 6 is Yuli Bieri of Scarborough. Bernie Newman of Calgary is car number 40. Number 11 was driven all season long by Ahmad Kodkar of Toronto. Drivers like Andre Thibault and Alex Donachie dream of the day they'll be on the victory stand and spray that champagne. Series like this allow them to objectively measure their skills against the top professionals without the old excuse of, if I had his car, I could beat him. To be either a major boost or a major blow to the ego. There's Case Neerop's teammate, Barry Kowalchuk in number 87. Whoop! Some of the most exciting racing happened back in the pack. So, to all of the drivers who kept us entertained the last 7 weeks, thanks for a great show. We're back on lap 10 of this 15-lap race, the final race in the 1986 Rothmans Porsche Challenge. The order remains Case Neerop in first, Scott Goodyear in second, followed by Scott Maxwell, Bill Adam, and Richard Spinard. And there is quite a bit of room between Bill Adam and Richard Spinard.
This is the opportunity where Richard has to be very smooth. Use all the racetrack to close that gap. You can see the two black cars as they come through. Adam there and now Spinard coming through. He's got a clear track. He can now concentrate on what he can do very well. Use the whole racetrack, go very quickly, and try to close that gap on Adam. Adam, of course, is his next car. He still has to get by Adam, then Maxwell, in order to claim the championship, as Neerop is doing his job and just running away out in front.
Heading up the hill and into turn number 9. There's Spinard. He's moving along quite well. As a matter of fact, that gap is now down to 2 seconds between Bill Adam and Richard Spinard.
Within a lap, he's made up 2 seconds. But again, we have to emphasize the fact that to catch one of these guys is one thing. To go by him is a whole different ballgame. Richard has got 2 very experienced people in front of him to get by. Adam, all kinds of experience internationally, won on this racetrack in a Trans Am car years ago, knows his way around here, and isn't going to be easy for Richard to get by once he does catch him.
He's got 5 laps to go, and Richard Spinard is on the leaderboard for the first time. This race looks like it belongs to Case Neerop, but Richard Spinard is gaining half a second per lap in an all-out bonsai effort for the overall championship. If Neerop wins, Spinard needs at least 3rd place. It looks like he could make it. Leader Case Neerop completing lap 12 of this 15-lap race. And there's his crew from Field Motorsports. Rob, have you ever seen 3 more nervous guys?
They should be nervous. Look what's chasing Case. A 4-car train made up of Goodyear, Maxwell, Adam, and arch rival Richard Spinard.
And now Richard is right on Bill Adams' bumper. And just a thought, Rob, the last thing Richard Spinard saw before he got knocked off the track in lap 1 was Bill Adam. Is there a possibility that he thinks Bill Adam is the man who knocked him off the track?
There's always that possibility, although Adam's reputation is not one of being a car bender or being that aggressive on a racetrack. He had no idea where that car came from, and he had no conception that it was perhaps Claude Bourbonnais that got him. So I think he's just being a little bit careful here, but now sticking his nose inside Adam and just obviously doesn't want a reoccurrence of that first lap incident.
And as they head up the hill into turn number 9, Richard Spinard, Bill Adams side by side. Richard has the inside line. It's very close.
Really, this is what racing's all about here, as Richard is attempting to get inside. Adam holds him off on the inside. Richard goes around the outside, holds for the next corner, takes the inside line, and takes Adam. Now he's only got one more car to go to look for that championship.
But here comes Bill Adam again. Bill Adam is repassed Richard Spinard. What a battle we've got going on for 4th spot.
Talk about your hopes going up and down in a short space here. Spinard just moved up one position, then lost it back on the next corner. Meanwhile, Goodyear is being very pressured by the young Maxwell. And again, Spinard going after, and they hit maybe. And
very, very close.
It doesn't get any closer than this. They're touching mirrors as they come down through Paddock Bend. 2 laps to go.
Spinard's pit crew is beginning to believe it could happen. The crowd here at Le Circuit is on its feet, rooting for Spinard, cheering for the French-Canadian who used to live right here in Mont-Tremblant. To charge back from 12th place into contention would be nothing short of a miracle. He's passed Bill Adam and into 4th place. This could be a legend in the making.
Now we're watching what Spinard has to do. In front of Spinard's car that we're watching here is the car that he must pass in order to take the championship away from Nirop, who has gone so deservedly out in front and just doing everything he has to do to win it. Spinard trying to drive as smoothly as he can as he stalks the next driver in line, Scott Maxwell.
One man to pass, and Richard Spinard is the champion.
Spinard using the whole road to extract every bit of speed out of his 944 as he takes off after the next man, Scott Maxwell, which could be his ticket to the championship. Maxwell and Goodyear rage a battle here, perhaps slowing each other down so that Spinard can close that gap and look for that championship. Here's Case Nirop with a 10-second lead now over the field. Kenny Adolph, Case's crew chief, looks 10 years older every time we see him.
Now here's Scott Maxwell trying to pass Scott Goodyear on the inside. If these two were to take each other out of the race, the championship would belong to Richard Spinard. From Scott Goodyear's car now, we can see what he's trying to do to hold off Scott Maxwell. He can't.
Maxwell's made a really nice pass on Goodyear here and now holds down second. Now the positions are Maxwell in second, Goodyear third, and Spinard right behind Goodyear. They have met many times before, and we've watched them pass each other and repass. Perhaps Richard knows something about Goodyear's driving that may help him get through there and into the championship position.
But as I mentioned earlier, one of these two, the way they're going at it, one of these two could crash. That would leave the championship to Richard Spinard.
None of these race drivers like to come second. We said that time and time again.
Last lap. The championship has come down to the final 14 turns.
This is when Spinard has to throw all caution to the wind. The car's not going to be raced next year, but the championship won't be there if he doesn't get up in front of the car in front of him. He's got to go as hard as he can go. Just use every ounce of the racetrack, every bit of the car to get by these two. Meanwhile, you know, anything can happen up here. We've got Maxwell being chased very hard. Very hard by Goodyear here, trying to get his best finish of the season here. Goodyear is just too proud a race driver to let this happen. Let this young kid come in here and take away some of his pride. Maxwell probably remembers only too well the race that he had here before at Saint-Gervais when he made a mistake on the last lap, which cost him the race.
And here comes Scott Goodyear. He has passed Scott Maxwell and back into second place. What a battle we've got going on for second place.
Richard Spinard just must be praying that one of these guys makes even the smallest mistake. Even a 2-second mistake, drop some wheels off, whatever, and the championship could be his.
And as he comes down the hill, Goodyear is weaving all over the place trying to block, but here comes Scott Maxwell on the inside. Maxwell is trying to pass Scott Goodyear. There he's now on the outside.
Oh, they touch, I think, Joe. But I think they made it around here, but...
Maxwell's off the track. He's off the... Oh, he's back on the track. Richard Spinard almost had that glorious opportunity he was looking for to get into third spot. Case Nirop rounds Navarro hairpin for the last time. Nirop is going to win this race, but more important, where will Richard Spinard finish?
Stay, hang in there, guys! Come on, come on, come on. Not over yet! Not over yet! Not over yet! We are it!
It's hard to imagine a more thrilling climax. Have you ever seen a greater range of emotion than on that MCL crew? From terror to joy and everything in between as Case Nirop wins the race and the championship.
There's a well-deserved salute to Richard Spinard. What a race he drove today. The turning point Unquestionably, turn 8, lap 1. Here in slow motion in Heimrath's car in 7th place, we see Claude Bourbonnet's car up ahead. They come down into corner 8. Bourbonnet pulls out around Bill Adam, tries to outbrake him, gets on it, and just nails Spinard, driving both of them off the track, and with them, Spinard's championship hopes. Another shot from Adam's car, closing and braking on Spinard, and on your right, Bourbonnet comes through and does it again. Same thing happens every time we see it.
There's the final score. Case Nierop wins the 1986 Rothmans Porsche Challenge by 3 points over Richard Spinard. Scott Goodyear finishes the season in 3rd.
Yeah, I was missing 1 lap. You know, I think I finished, what, 4th? Yeah. And 1 lap more, I was going to pass the guy in the 3rd position, and that was the championship. But like I said, Bill Adam just slowed me down a little bit too much, and just couldn't pass him.
Case, congratulations, the first Rothmans Porsche champion. How were you able to do it?
I think I'm just so happy right now. I don't really know what to say. All I can do is thank everybody, because the Field Motorsport MCL motor car just worked fantastic this weekend, and the guys have been behind me all year, and it's been a hard job, and it came right down to the last race, and it was a bit of a nerve-wracking final stages of the championship, I guess. 7 points was a fair amount, and to win like this, I got to thank everybody. Rothmans Porsche, Shell, Sun Ice, and Pirelli. Everything worked out fantastic.
And now we leave the horsepower of auto racing